I'm going to show you the step-by-step process I use to make my books. Here's a look at the equipment and materials I used. I made the book press thanks to another video I saw on YouTube. My book pages were created using Microsoft Word. The page size of a book is subjective. I chose to make my book 5.5 by 8.5 using the book fold layout. It is printed double-sided and landscape orientation, thus containing 4 book pages per sheet. My book cover was created using Microsoft PowerPoint. Since the cover must contain the width of the book spine, I had to use 8.5 by 14 paper. I recommend using cardstock for the book's cover. The heavier the cardstock, the better. My cover is printed on 80-pound cardstock. I marked guidelines of the cover's outer edges, the spine locations, and the relief folds. The cover will be trimmed later in the video. It's time to cut the printed pages of the book. I use a heavy-duty guillotine paper cutter to cut the printed pages in half. In this way, I can cut all the pages of the book at once. It is your choice as to how to accomplish this. After cutting, set the pages aside. Next, I cut the book cover down to size. I use a slide cutter because it was easy to line up the cut lines. Again, it is your choice as to how to accomplish this. I made 2 templates for scoring the spine and relief folds at the precise locations on the cover. First, flip the cover over face down. Then align the cover template against the edge of the cover and score a spine line. Do the same for the other spine line. The spine can now be folded at the scored lines. Next, turn the cover face up. Then align the relief template against the edge of the cover and score the relief line. Do the same for the other relief line. Note, do not fold the relief lines. The book cover is now prepped. Set the book cover aside. Next, cut a piece of book binding cloth 2 to 3 times wider than the spine. Then set the binding cloth aside. Place the book pages spine up into the book press and secure them. Ensure that the pages are square in the book press. Using 80 grit sandpaper, lightly sand the spine until even. Use 120 grit sandpaper to lightly smooth the spine. This is to ensure that the book cover mounts flat and even on the spine. The spine gluing process uses the double fan method. Place the book pages spine up into the book press and ensure at least 1/3 of the book is extended above the book press. I use a couple of pieces of wood to raise the spine at a desirable height. Secure firmly. Perform the following 3 steps. Bend the pages over so that the spine fans out. Root all along the exposed edges of the spine. Straighten the book pages and run your fingers along the spine to squeeze it back together. Flip the book press around so that the spine can be fanned in the other direction. Perform the previous 3 steps. Ensure the spine is upright and the pages are squeezed together. Now, place the previously cut book binding cloth evenly on the freshly glued spine. Ensure there is material overhanging on both sides of the spine. Also ensure that no glue is on the overhanging material. Run the bone folder tool along the spine to smooth out the cloth and remove excess glue. Run your fingers along the sides of the spine to flatten the sides of the binding cloth to the outer edges. Again, ensure no glue is on the overhanging material. Next, place a press board on each side of the spine. The face of the press board is covered with cellophane tape, such as packing tape. This covering prevents the press board from being glued to the spine. The boards must be high enough to sandwich the spine between them. Use 3 clamps to squeeze the boards together. This keeps the spine straight and tight as the glue sets up. There's a clamp on each end and one in the middle. Let it set for a few hours to ensure the spine remains tight and straight. Remove the press board and clamps and set them aside. Remove the book from the book press. Trim the excess binding cloth that is overhanging on both sides of the spine. I use an X-Acto knife for this step. We are now ready for the cover. Place the cover face down and run a bead of glue on the spine of the cover. Avoid excess glue onto the cover relief areas. I use a paintbrush, but realize a wide mouth syringe would be better for this step. Place the cover onto the book. Obviously, the spine of the cover should go over the spine of the book. Run the bone folder tool along the spine to smooth out the cover and remove excess glue. Place the covered book spine up into the book press and secure it. Ensure the spine is exposed above the book press. Let it set for a few hours to ensure the cover has dried to the spine. It is now time to glue the relief area of the cover to the book. Remove the book from the press. Open the front cover and run a bead of glue along the inside edge of the cover and first page of the book. I use a narrow syringe to apply the glue. Do the same for the back cover and last page of the book. Place the book into the press, spine up and secure. Let it set for a few hours to ensure the cover has dried to the relief areas. Remove the book from the press, and voila, the book binding is complete.